Today I'm going to teach you how to make vegetarian chili my way. It's my specialty recipe that I make for me and Kel during the holiday seasons, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and my family always wants some. She actually told my dad I was going to make it before she asked me to make it for her, so I decided to go ahead and make this vlog and let everyone know how I make my vegetarian chili. Vegetarian, no meat. So what we need here is a big pot to put the chili in, because it's going to be a big amount. 2 cans of kidney beans. They can be light red or dark red. I prefer light red because dark red look too dark. 1 can of sweet corn. 3 cans of chili beans, and because me and Kel don't like spicy things, we get 1 of the hot and 2 of the mild. And then you need a can this big. It's 1 pound, 13 ounces of Hunt's puree. That's the base of the chili. You need some salt, and if you want even more spice in it, you can add any kind of pepper you want. In this case, we add cayenne pepper. And you also need a tablespoon measurer, a can opener to open all the cans, a soup spoon to stir it with, a spatula, and a plate. And also 2 to 4 boxes of Boca flame grilled burgers. These are meatless burgers. They even have a vegan style burger if you're vegan and you don't eat any dairy. So let's start adding our ingredients into the pot. Alright, so I got all my cans opened except for my sweet corn. I like to add that in at the end when the Boca is already inside the chili. For now, we're not going to add the Boca. We're going to let everything else cook. So first we're going to add the Hunt's puree. And then you use the can to get 1.5 to 2 canfuls of water to put inside the pot. Now I added a little extra water because I plan on putting a little more Boca in my chili today than I normally do. But it's up to you. You can vary it either way. If you want it more watery or more dry, some people prefer it different ways. I like it kind of medium. So let's add everything else. The chili beans, you do not want to drain out the juices from the can. With the kidney beans you do, but not with the chili beans because obviously that's where all the spice is going to be. Alright, and for now we're going to move everything else aside. Put your pot of chili on the biggest burner you have. You don't want to be on a small burner. That's not very smart. Keep it on the biggest burner. And set it to about a 5.5, a little over halfway, because you don't want it to come to a boil because you're going to be leaving it for a short period of time, but you also don't want it to cook less than you want it to. You go ahead and mix everything in to get everything working together. Now you're going to want to put the cover on the chili. Leave it open just a little bit so it can breathe, unless you have one of those pots that breathes for it, but I don't have one of those pots. I have old pots. And I don't know about you, but it keeps my cats from looking in it or getting their hair in it. So we're going to let it sit. I got my timer going. I'm going to go and hang out with my dog until the timer goes off, and then come back and see if it's ready for the next steps in the chili making process. Also, you'll probably want to come back periodically every 5 or so minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and stir it a little bit, making sure the beans and the seasons aren't sticking to the bottom of the pan or anything like that. Just keep it going, keep it mixing, make sure it heats evenly. So, let's go hang out. It's starting to smell really good. It's been maybe half an hour since I started it cooking. I had to come back. My first trip coming back to make sure it wasn't sticking to the bottom. I had to turn the temperature down. I had it set to, what was it, 5.5? I turned it down to 2.5 because it's been a while since I've made my chili, honestly, and I didn't remember the setting. So it's a good thing you're watching this video before trying it at home. So you should keep it at maybe a 4 for 5 to 10 minutes at the beginning to make sure it starts heating up properly and it gets heat through the entire thing, and then turn it down to a 2.5. But it's nice and hot right now, and it smells fantastic, and I think it's time to add the boca in, because I do want the boca to cook in there for a little bit, because I'm just going to microwave the boca. I know a lot of people don't like microwaving stuff like that, but vegetarian meat, you can do it. It's not like meat. I know my girlfriend, she prefers, if she's eating the patty, to cook it on the stove or something like that. But microwaving it is faster and it doesn't harden it up as much, and I need it soft when I put it into my chili. So I'm going to go ahead and get some bocas ready on a plate and get them in the microwave. Now I got the bocas ready on the plate. I microwave them for between 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes, because since there's 4 on the plate, you want them all to heat up, and then flip them over and cook them for another minute or so. Okay, we got 1 plate of them heated up and ready to go. While we're working with that one, we're going to put another plate in the microwave. Got that going for 1.5 minutes. And where's my spatula? What we do now is get your spatula that I told you you needed. Or I guess you could use something else for this if you want, but I found that this works a lot better than it does with knives, and I don't know, you might have some good cooking utensil that you could use to do this easily, but I don't. I have a spatula. So you're just going to cut it up into little bits like you would see ground beef, I guess. I don't know. I'm not very intelligent when it comes to meat products. I'm guessing ground beef would be the closest thing to it. But you just want it in little tiny chunks that you would want the size in your chili. So let's get chopping. Don't you like how I hold a spatula so creepy-like I'm trying to stab someone? Okay, now those bocas in the microwave have 1 more minute. So I'm done chopping up my boca. This is what it's supposed to look like. Well, if you want it to look like that. If you don't, then it might look like something different. Okay. Sorry, I just felt like playing with it for a minute. So now you're going to want to put it into your chili. I'm going to let you see what the chili is supposed to look like about now. That's what the chili looks like. You can see the boca pieces and some beans right there. We'll get another plate of boca ready. This is going to be my 3rd and last plate of boca. Go ahead and switch this one out with the one that's in the microwave. And time to chop again. Alright, last plate of boca. Let's go ahead and get chopping on it and get this meat out of the way. And let's put this in the chili. And don't forget to start your dishes soaking in the sink, because after all this cooking, I know you don't want to go over to the sink and have to do a bunch of dishes. So always make sure you start your dishes quick. So we're going to go ahead and start stirring this again. We're gonna add 2 more ingredients right now. First is the salt. You get your thing of salt and the tablespoon measure. Now this is only for people who can have salt, because my stepmom, she can't have too much salt. So you measure out 1 tablespoon of salt. Alright, I got my tablespoon. Let's put it in the thing. And second to last ingredient, because we still have yet to get to the corn. We're going to wait even longer for that. But anything you want to put in there to add up the spice, cayenne pepper, I put it in when I put the salt in. And I guess you could have put the salt and the cayenne pepper in earlier when you put the beans in and everything. But I wasn't thinking about it, quite honestly. So we're putting it in now. I only like to do a couple sprinkles because I actually had a bad incident with cayenne pepper because I was trying out another new dish with potatoes and cheese and all this delicious stuff, and I made the casserole perfect. It had a little cayenne pepper and a little spice and lots of cheese and lots of potato, and it was so good. And the second time I did it, I put way too much cayenne pepper, and let's just say me and Kel didn't leave the house because we didn't feel like being in public. Alright, cayenne pepper's done. Okay, I'm going to let you see one more time what the chili's supposed to look like at this point, now that almost everything has been put in. See, it's a lot more meaty now that you have 3 boxes of the boca in there. You can see the beans a lot more because before they were sinking down to the bottom. Now it looks more like a chili. Now again, if you didn't want it to look as soupy as it is right now, you could have always put less water in the beginning. As I told you, I put a little over 2 cans because I was planning on having it like this. So we're going to cover it back up. I'll turn it down to just below 2. Make sure to have some Tupperwares on the side or whatever you plan on storing it in, if you do plan on storing it. I don't know if you're planning on eating it all in one meal, but that is a lot of freaking chili. So I have one for my mom, my dad, and me and Kel to keep. And so go hang out. Again, be sure to come back every 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes. And stir it, make sure everything is staying warm. If it's not staying warm enough, go ahead and turn the heat up a little bit. And I wish that you could smell this right now because I wish I could eat it right now, but it's not done. So go ahead, hang out, come back in 2 hours. 2 hours. Alright, I've relaxed and I've come back to my chili. It's about 9:30, so I'm actually pretty late doing this. It's time to cook the corn, so go ahead and get my pot. I was just trying to pick a bad piece of corn out of my dish, and I got on my fork and I moved it over here, and just as I was about to drop it in the trash, it fell. And I can't find it. It disappeared. It hit the floor and went poof. But oh well. Alright, corn's fine. And I will let you see one more time what this chili is supposed to look like if you do the recipe right. So here we go. Are you ready? Da, 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 da. I don't know what I did. Anyways, here's the chili. See? Nice and hearty, and well, I don't know if it's hearty. I don't know what hearty means. I was just trying to say that it has a lot of stuff in it. Lots of stuff. It's half thick, and it's still soupy. And it smells so good. So hopefully if you follow the recipe right, you will get something that looks like this in this big of a pot with my hand that big of a pot. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you try out the recipe sometime because I'm telling you it is the best chili I've ever had. And all you have to do is perk it a little bit for yourself. Just add more salt, more cayenne pepper, less of something, more boca, less boca, whatever you want. Just this is a basic starter for you to use with a vegetarian chili. So have fun with it. Thanks for watching. Bye.